Hello, I'm County Judge Executive Houston Wells. Welcome to County Connections. Today, our special guest is Sheriff Chris Squire. Chris is new on the job, and Chris, since you've come in, I know you've hit the ground running. Tell us about what's happening at the Sheriff's Office. And by the way, welcome to county government.
Thank you, Judge Wells. Well, we have a lot going on at the Sheriff's Office. Of course, we just had our first budget passed, which is always a challenge coming into the job for a week, and we got a slight increase for a 2% cost of living, and we were happy to get that through. Currently, we're working on our new body cameras. We're wanting to implement those as soon as possible, and we actually have 6 of those that are demos from WatchGuard. So we're going to be putting those out for patrol, and that'll cover about half of our deputies on the road. We have 14 deputies assigned to patrol, and 6 of those will be out on the road soon. I've found that the citizens of Franklin County feel it's important for deputies to have body cams, and I think it'll be a great tool that allow us training and to be able to review what's going on, and also it will give us check and balance for any integrity issues that we might have. Some of the other things we have, we're focusing deputies on county patrols. While we're still working with the city police, we'll be focusing on the county police department issues, so the community members out in the far ends of the counties will see deputies out on patrol more, and we'll be working with the city on drug enforcement and also the state police, and hopefully the DEA task force will have an opening soon where we'll be able to tap into their resources as well.
Yeah, Chris, you're coming from the city police force and into the sheriff's office now, but what you're doing is you're bringing a good relationship with the city as well as the Kentucky State Police. Talk about how that's going to be helpful to our sheriff's department.
Yes, sir. Well, one thing it does, it brings everyone together so there's no contamination within the same case, because lots of times if there's a lot of secrets going on in investigations, one agency may contaminate the others by both investigating the same person or persons at the same time. So we'll be sharing resources, and also with resources it saves you money because county tax dollars are limited, as you know. We want to use the resources of bigger agencies and work together and also enforce drugs, because it's one of the number one issues in our community. So we'd like to do it together. It's safer and smarter financially.
Yeah, you mentioned the drug, the opioids, and all of that that's going on, and that is happening in our community. Any ideas? What can we do to slow it down? And what are you doing from the sheriff's office, as well as working with the city and state police in trying to combat this horrible problem?
I believe the improved intelligence that you'll see between the agencies, and also bringing those resources at a federal level, and also hopefully a local task force will be sharing information and working directly with the citizens. I think there's no single answer. We've been battling this for years, but we can do our part by working together to reach the common goal. And one of the other things we're doing besides drug enforcement is working on school safety. It's a huge issue, and we're working with the superintendent, Mr. Kopp, to hopefully get a 4th school resource position, and that will give us 2 on each side of town, because right now with 3 deputies sometimes it's very hard to cover all the areas we need to, so we're hoping to get that 4th spot.
Chris, explain a little bit about the SROs and what they do in the schools, and how that job works along, is compatible with the sheriff's department.
So basically, the deputies, it's a school resource deputy. They're assigned to a certain area, which usually they'll cover 2 or 3 schools within our school system, and they go to work on the same schedule as the teachers or principals. They go in the morning, and they're there all day until school's out that afternoon, and often they'll build rapport with the children or students, and they can share information, and any law enforcement or safety issue that comes up, they're there to help, and that's their assignment.
Yeah, that is. During my tenure, I've been fortunate to have some really good ones. They're all good, but some really good guys that I agree with you. They build rapport with the students, and they're there to help. And we've seen a lot of unfortunate situations in the schools across the country, and we're thankful that the Sheriff's Department, Franklin County Physical Court, is supplying those 2, along with the school system, in our schools.
Yes, sir. It's a very good program that we can all be proud of, and there's a lot of effort put into it on the county's part, and also the school district. They pay a lot of money, nearly $200,000 comes out of their budget to reimburse the county for the deputies. So we're certainly happy to have the program. We just want to build on what we have and just make sure that our schools are as safe as they can possibly be.
Chris, one other thing about there's actually three parts to the sheriff's office. One, it's the patrol that you have. Two, it's the bailiffs that protect the court system, and three, the collection of the taxes. You talk a little bit about where you are with that now, and maybe some ideas or thoughts that you have to improve those areas.
Well, of course, courthouse security is always a big issue. It takes as many as 15 part-time employees to secure the courthouse. Depending on if there's a trial or whatever's going on, sometimes you'll have as many as 10 on that day's schedule. So it's a big commitment. I've moved Russ Persons, which is now a captain, to be over the courthouse, and he handles all the personnel and all the scheduling issues there. And Captain Wise is now over our patrol, which is the deputies you see out in the county taking the calls. We're working the wrecks or whatever calls may come in, thefts and burglaries. And there's 14 deputies assigned to patrol. And the other side is the tax collection. It's near $38 million, which we've collected all but $2 million at this point. So we're doing good on tax collection starting out the new year with just a little bit of it left. And we'll be done till October next year when it starts over. So we've done the tax settlement for 2018 with the previous administration. We're starting over with the remaining tax collection. One of the other things we talked about in this office is some of the new policies that we've implemented. I've changed the vehicle take-home policy for deputies. Basically, if you live outside of Franklin County, we're requiring that you pay reimbursement for the mileage. It's 35 cents a mile up to 15 miles. So a lot of agencies around are doing this for it's an incentive to hire someone if they're just over the county line. So the county will recoup most of its money for the mileage, and the deputy still has the benefit of the vehicle. And I also changed the off-duty driving. So now you'll see deputies that are working, if they're at a ball game or security or something like that. If it's an approved off-duty job or security event, it's okay. But we're not going to drive these cars for personal use anymore. We've kind of tightened up our belt, and we're hoping to save money because the fuel budget is huge. It's over $100,000. So we have to make sure we're doing our part to save as much as possible.
Yeah, and I think that leads to probably, I can guess, what is your biggest need from the sheriff's department?
Yes, our vehicle fleet is certainly a problem, Judge, as you know, and most people in this community know that we drive a lot of miles. When you're driving 24-hour patrols and you're reaching sometimes 30,000 miles a year, your fleet really, really has a hard time keeping up. So I think we only have 4 vehicles in our fleet with less than 100,000 miles right now out of the 30 vehicles that we drive in all the assignments. So it's a huge problem, and, that we're working together to try to resolve the vehicle maintenance and the fleet issues. We've looked at different options, leasing or buying, or what rotation is the best that's the most efficient is what we want to do to solve our problem, or at least have a long-term plan. So hopefully we'll get our vehicles under control in the very near future, and we'll have a fleet that doesn't eat away at our budget. Because I know the first 2 weeks we probably spent $5,000 or $6,000 out of the $40,000 budgeted for vehicle maintenance. So it's certainly going to be a problem this year and probably the next few years till we get it under control.
Well, Sheriff, thank you. And you mentioned the magic words, and I know we all feel good about this. We welcome you, but we're all working together. You work for the citizens of this community just like all of us, and we're very proud that you're here as the sheriff of Franklin County, and welcome you and look forward to all of the exciting things that you've been talking about. And we know that this is going to be a great 4 years for you. We're proud and honored to have you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time. And for those citizens out watching, I look forward to the next 4 years. And if you should have any needs for the sheriff's office, or you just want to come by and tour the building, we're here every day. We love to show you around. We're looking forward to possibly doing an open house later this spring for people to come in and have a snack and tour the building. But if you should need anything from the sheriff's office, feel free to call us anytime. Thank you.
Sheriff Chris Squire, thank you for sharing this time with us on County Connections. Your points are well made. We're very honored and thrilled that you're here. And thank you all for watching County Connections. Once again, please like and share our program. Once again, thank you, Sheriff Squire, and thank you for watching County Connections.